Blessings, blessings, blessings. Blessings, everybody out there in the universe. My name is Sean Myrie, and I'm your host of the Down to Earth podcast. Tonight, I got a special guest coming on. Yeah, straight out of Toronto, we got Cringe Kev. Yo, live and direct. Just a little behind the time right now, you know? Trying to connect. With our special guest. There he is. Sending in. Brother, I see you. Let's see. I see you. I got you. Bless up.
What's good, brother?
Yo, I say this to everybody. Introduce yourself to the universe, to those who may not know who you are.
My name is Kevin Campbell, a.k.a. Cringe Kev, a.k.a. just your average Joe. A comedian, and I'm here to make people laugh. I try to, at least.
I know. You're funny. You're really funny, man. So I'm going to ask you how long you been doing it for? Like, how long you really been doing the comedy series?
So I was doing comedy about regularly for about a year straight, then the pandemic hit. And then obviously during the pandemic, whenever the fuck you can, but no, I had, but like right before the pandemic, it was like 5 nights a week kind of thing. I was just getting the rhythm going.
Full time, you're doing it.
Now we're just trying to start her back up, you know?
Were you always like a class clown growing up? Like, did people find you funny? Like, your friends?
Yeah, I got voted class clown, I remember.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I didn't hear that. Sorry. I got interrupted a little bit. You're a voted class clown?
Yeah. Back at prom, I was voted class clown. At the time, I was just like, what the fuck? I didn't really like think of myself like that. But then like looking back on it, I was like, oh, that's kind of jokes.
Oh. So, yo, man, like I'm watching some of your videos, and every video, like when I'm watching, is mostly funny, and it's hard for me to be like, you know, like entertained. A lot of people know me. I'm a hard person to like get to laugh. You know what I mean? There's only a couple comedians.
Where are you from?
I'm from North Toronto, Vaughan, originally.
Okay, like North York?
Yeah, more north a little bit, Vaughan area.
Okay, yeah. I'm on the east end there in Ajax. Ajax town represent.
All the way to the Ajax. So, yo, how was it like growing up, like in Ajax, like the influences, like I would ask you, like music-wise or the culture growing up east?
Ajax, it was more like the classic suburban shit. Depends who you hang out with out east. You could be hanging out, like your dad's gonna be listening to classic rock as a white Ute, you know? And then you go to school and hip hop's obviously the big wave. Sum 41 growing up was like Ajax's band. That was like that was the big only thing that came out of Ajax at the time that I could think of. And I think you have out of Whippy. Is it Kanon out of Whippy? I think too. Maybe Chaos. I don't know. One of the other Canadian artists is right out of Whippy there. So Durham region.
Yeah, I think you're right. Chaos.
What?
You're right. Chaos.
Yeah, I think it's Chaos. Yeah.
And hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. I gotta get a spliff. Wait, hold on. Gotta get a spliff. Hold on.
Yo, what's going on? Much love from Harlem. What's going on, Harlem? Buddy's like, Kev always jokes back in Pick Show. We're gonna get some fucking shows going out in Pick Show soon, bud. I wish you did Vapor Central before it closed.
Sorry.
We will be doing her soon. Sheesh. We'll figure something out. New venue.
Yep. Like, just forgot my spliff right here.
I just smoked mine. I just literally.
It's my spliff I forgot right here. But yeah, so like growing up down there, like how was like the music scene? Like what are you into? Like most of your taste?
It varies. Like growing up when I was younger, I was big into Metallica. That was like my shit. And I was more into that kind of vibe. I taught myself guitar, so I started getting into like rock and different genres through that. But I always rapped. I was big Eminem, obviously, growing up, and rap was always like that one genre that was always steady throughout my life, I would say. And I used to rap back in the day, fucking around, rap battling back kids back in school, more freestyling for shits. It was always just like a fun thing to me. And so then I just, yeah, so I'd say rap too. And there's always been a classic element of like, I remember high school freestyling with kids, ciphers. And I remember like elementary, I remember battling, roast battles hard,
Yeah.
And that's like the culture. It's just like, it's Toronto, but it's the suburbs, right? So you're getting like,
Yeah.
it's a good mix out all throughout the GTA.
So tell me about the roasting. It looks like you perfect the art of roasting. That's what I've been seeing. Like with your art of roasting is very good for a comedian, I would say.
No, it gets you in trouble more than it helps. Trust me. That's
so recently you have something controversial. That whatever that bill thing you were talking about. I could tell a lot of people really did you get a lot of feedback? How was that feedback?
So the way it's been is for TikTok. Let's use TikTok for example. I built up my first account. People liked when I was just like roasting, talking shit about politics. I always try to write this as satire, and I get my account to 50,000 followers right away. It gets deleted by TikTok. So I make a next account, gets to 10K, deleted by TikTok. So now I'm on my third account, and I was trying to stay away from politics. So I was like, I'll try mixing one. Gets good views, immediately gets taken down, but my account's still up on there. But it's just one of those things. It's like I just hate how censorship just like takes down comedians. I know that there's a lot of misinformation out there. And I just hate how like you can't even joke about topics. Like if you make a joke about a vaccine, you're automatically flagged and you're demonetized and deplatformed. It's like we need to chill out.
But you know what's funny? What you're talking about, like in rap, hip hop, there's rappers who've been talking about this stuff for years, right? Sure. And those ones, they won't promote. But they promote the more like the violence, right? And these guys are considered underground. The guys who are speaking like what you're talking about are like underground. They're like the outcasts. Who are they? Like they might give them a little shine, but that's it.
And even in a comedian sense, comedians like musicians have always been the people to call things out and to push that boundary. Like I know there's big comedians. I forget the one guy back in the day. It might have been Carlin got arrested for using certain language. I think he was using like the word cunt in his like performance way back in the day. And Richard Pryor talked about his struggle growing up in a crack house whorehouse as a child. Yeah. Just the most like in a time when Bill Cosby and the most clean humor was the only way to do it. You get this guy coming in talking about being the fucking son of a fucking hooker in a whorehouse. Yeah. And it's just like, geez, that's some real shit. And like that's what breaks boundaries and that's what makes I think the best for comedy and art and music.
That's like NWA in the 80s. They tried to stop them a concert too. Same thing. Whole bunch of people, man.
Yes, they try to shut down studio time. Have to raid your studio time, shit like that. Try to get in your head, get you off your game. Fake death threats.
Part of it, I think, is because everything's digital, right? Before you could get a CD or a tape, and it wasn't everywhere. It wasn't always in your face. So only certain people. Did he hear that new album? Right? Yep. Did he? No, I didn't hear that new album. So you have to all go to that person's house, or someone has to have that tape to play in their car or somewhere. So that's where I find
it's a friend of a friend. And even the first time I seen stand-up comedy was an illegal Pacific Mall DVD. Remember those back in the day? Those burned DVDs.
Yeah.
That was the first time. It was Russell Peters. It was like this shit is hilarious, and that's the first time I was really introduced to comedy.
Yeah. So like right now, like how do you like people view you now, who you know as a comedian? Do they take you more seriously? Are they taking you more serious than before?
No, my name's fucking Cringe Kev. There's no one taking me seriously. That's the whole point of the name is to not take me serious, No,
I mean like your other so-called like I would say comedians or people who you looked up to, or if you have any influences from others.
A lot of them, but I really loved like Dave Chappelle growing up was one of mine first. Russell Peters. I used to love Dane Cook when I was like really young, first getting into comedy. Joe Rogan, just as like an individual, he's a big comedian too. And what him and Dave Chappelle are doing is like two goats of comedy coming together and running these shows during COVID. That's an inspiration to see. But then there's so many up and comers. Like even out of Toronto, I know Ben Bankus is doing his thing. Very controversial guy. Talks a lot of shit, but it's funny as fuck. And Ryan Long, he's actually from this area. I used to grow up with his brother. He's in New York. He's doing it real big.
Yeah.
And like that guy's has big things going for him. So there's people locally. It's nice to see that actually are having successes too, right?
That's good. You have people like that around you, right? It's like how artists will have certain artists around them to make them more sharp, and you get what I mean? You are artists.
Also, shout out to Jax Veteran. I seen he joined. I do a podcast with him, Mayo and Chicken. He's a rapper. He's coming out with his music soon.
Gotta come through. Gotta come through the down to earth, man. Gotta, check out the music too.
Shoot him a DM. I'm sure he can have it to.
For sure. For sure. So, I'm gonna ask you, like, what kind of strand when you're smoking? What do you like to smoke?
I go a sativa or a hybrid. Usually, Blue Dream. I'm a fan of. It's just because I'm an all-day smoker, so I need to be productive.
It's true. Oh, I see. A lot of people like the indica in the night, right?
No,
yeah. You got to be productive.
Yeah, I'm a marathon. I'm more of a marathon style smoker. Start it off right and finish off nice.
So how you feel about like how the legalization has been for us up here so far?
I really wish. I feel like it was just set up for certain people to win off the hop, and I feel like it wasn't really fair for like they don't put these restrictions to start a brewery. You know what I mean? The same like lottery style. You should be able to just start a brewery, abide by the rules to start one. And with a lot of like who could get dispensaries and who couldn't and who got awarded it, I just didn't like that rollout. But I think legalization was a big thing. And Trudeau got in. He finessed us. He got me. He said free. He said legal weed. He got me with that.
Yeah, I did finesse. That's true. So I'm gonna ask you, what's one of the most funniest things that ever happened to you in your comedy experience or your life? Like, do you have anything what was very funny like to you, like your experience?
Okay, so I was doing a comedy competition one time at like church in Wellesley area, something like that, and I misjudged the crowd pretty much. I get in there, all very old white people. So I go in, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go with my usual bit about like eating pussy through the phone sex. Not like phone sex, but eating pussy through the phone. And I've never seen these old ladies so disgusted in their lives. And it was only funny because it was so bad, and like I had a couple buddies witness it, and they were just witnessing how awkward it was for everyone. And those big bombs, they're so awkward, but they're just like, oh, that's such a fun memory. Mm-hmm. But you always fucking come back stronger. That's the good part too, though.
I could bet. So, like, when's the last time you have performed your set?
Right before Christmas when they had indoor venues. And then I'm supposed to get one going. I'm getting the show going in Durham region here soon, and I'm going to start hopping on some buddy shows out on these patio shows that people are starting to run. I'm going to get out there. I've been working on all new material, but I've also been working on making like comedy rap because I couldn't just stand up. I could hear you doing that outlet. Do that, and so today, for example, I hit the studio and I got 3 tracks recorded. I got some other ones in the bank, and I'm trying to put together a little like comedic album project. You know
what? It'll work, man. Trust me. We need that hip hop music. They just need that because I haven't seen that in a while. I remember Fresh Prince back in the '80s, late '80s. They used to have that, and even what's his name from Digital Underground, Humpty, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Like. Yep. I could hear you doing that because I remember there used to be a group with Tom Green from here. It was I forgot the name of the group, but they were ill. They were ill back in the early '90s. They checked the OR. You like it so far? I remember that. And Jane and Finch. You look it up. Tom Green. He's a comedian too.
And to be honest, that might be something that the Toronto scene might miss because it's also we need to go hard. We need to put on this image. We almost need a bit more of like, yo, let's just have some playful banter. Let's just be like almost wilding out style more. Yeah. Like, let's have some fun with this.
Yeah.
Don't be so fun. Like, I'm going to murder you, and let's be more like you have a big-ass forehead.
Yeah, it's true because hip-hop, even back in the day, Bless Up Cities, a good sponsor, they always had comedy, and it just went away after a while. Like in the mid-'90s, something happened, right? I
Mm-hmm.
guess Tupac and Biggie made things, that whole situation change. But I remember there's a whole bunch of slew. I can't name all of them. They had some humor in their rap. Far
Yeah,
Side, you
and
remember
people still
Far
do to
Side?
this day. Like Lil
Yeah.
Dicky's out there still doing like a humorous rap.
Mm-hmm.
Some Slim Shady always had a humorous element to it. Like D12 days, remember those raps? Like
Mm-hmm.
there was always
D12.
something like all D12.
The
All
whole album.
yeah, that was very
Yep.
like humorous vibes. And Weird Al Yankovic won a
Yeah.
Grammy. Like let's
Yep.
not forget that motherfucker's
Yeah.
won a Grammy. And once I
Yeah.
seen that, I'm like, this fucking ugly fucking win a Grammy. Why not me? Like, let's get at
So,
it.
of course, man, I see you doing it, man. You ever done any acting before?
Yeah, I did that commercial that I think you recently seen and posted.
Mm-hmm.
And that was recent for a friend. Shout out Mass Minority Inc. Get me the gig.
City.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
anti-smoking ad. And I did a bit of background, and I want to do it. I want to get into some more writing and custom projects. But acting is just one of these weird things. It's just casting such a weird vibe. Like, let's go into this room with fucking 30 people and do this weird fucking act out.
I know. I know.
And it's just like I would be more. I'm more down to like, let's get a good team together and make a custom project and work
It's true.
something out. And then I can be no, I'm a part in it.
You say you're a legend in the making. My sponsor say you're a legend in the making. Cities.
Shout
He
out
said
City.
he believe. I believe so too. I see something. I mean, I see something myself.
Appreciate it, dog. Appreciate it. What do you
Got the
do
look.
though?
Me?
What's your story?
My story? I have a long story, man. I know a lot of people heard the story a couple times on here, but my story is my pops, my family were like for the music. We're really into the music. You get what I mean? Like what they call the underground hip hop.
Yep.
We're really the underground. Me and my brother were really the underground. We grew around bands. We grew around like my dad used to go out and play out with his sound.
They had the saxophone players playing behind the artist, kind of thing.
Yeah, and my dad was like a DJ. Like he knew the sound. He was a sound man, so he would set up his speakers, turntables, have the DJ, the guys who are the MCs. Sometimes put on parties for the community.
Okay.
The works. But we grew and we transformed it into a studio because he had a lot of equipment. So as we got older, we got interested in doing music. We didn't have to go nowhere else, so we bought some more equipment and we started recording our friends. And after then, we record ourselves. And then we created a production. My brother's he's into the camera and the graphic design. My brother, he's always an artist. I'm an artist, so I'm not just doing a podcast. I'm an artist myself. Yeah. I got some new fire coming out.
Okay. What kind of genre would you classify yourself in?
I don't classify myself, but a lot of people would say hip hop, but it's not really hip hop like that. Hip hop. I'm like another type of like evolution, like fusion of everything, like hip hop. Yeah, new wave, like hip hop, R&B, rock, techno. You're gonna hear everything because I have tracks where like on techno beats, I'm rapping on techno style type of beats.
That's the shit that blows up. It ends up, it says new wave shit. That's what happened with Lil Nas. Like he combined some country vibe with some hip hop vibe, and it just clicks, and that shit blows up.
Yeah, so not everything is on like the uniform beat. What I go on like beats what not everybody's gonna be going on. Then I sing too. I was a singer before I was rapping when I was younger.
Would you say you're a better singer than you are a rapper, or vice versa?
A better singer.
Yeah,
I'm a better singer, but I've been rapping a lot.
If I could sing, I'd be a killer. That's my wondering. I can't sing or really dance. Don't got no rhythm.
I really haven't give people the all out shine of the singing. I could sing like any. I grew up on R&B, like all the best R&B was going on, so I knew about that. I could sing all the old school type of stuff. I just don't put it out there too much, but I put it in the hooks. I put it in the melody. You hear it in the hooks, and then I rap. You get what I mean? Some tracks I have more singing. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can't put me in a box. I could do the rock thing too. Give me the rock. You get what I mean? I could do that too. Just give me that type of sound. A band around me, I could do the same thing. It's writing. All it is writing a story.
So I got a question. You're someone that's really in tune with the culture and the Toronto rap scene. What's one thing you could say that needs to change in terms of there's clearly something in terms of like people dying more than
Artist,
you.
I'm gonna tell you straight up, artist development. A lot of these people, it's like the NBA. They rush it from college. They jump straight to the NBA. And when you are in college for longer, in basketball, for example, I'm gonna use, you're more of a developed and intelligent uh, player because you know the game. You
Yep.
could be a strong player and everything and fast, but you don't know the game just because you're strong and fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the same thing applies to what I'm saying, right?
Okay, okay. I see what you're saying. Like, it's just people, like, they get the break real quick, and when they're still immature and not fully understand what
Yeah,
is
there's a lot
happening.
of development artists, and they don't know how to promote themselves. The people forgot the promoting side. If you watch old school music movies, there was always the promoter going to the studio or the radio station to say, "Hey, I got this artist played in this state."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, people pay for this stuff, but it's bots. You need a physical person like you or me, someone who they see and talk to and communicate that is doing that. You get what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm going straight. You're the artist, and I'm going straight. They're gonna know it's Sean Myrie
Mm-hmm.
dealing with them, and I'm promoting them. And
Mm-hmm.
then if they respect me, it keeps growing like a tree. The
Yeah.
respect, and that
Yep.
has happened. That has happened. People who I connect with first have connect with other people in my network. They didn't know nothing about them till I introduced
Mm-hmm.
them to people.
Yeah.
Many.
That's what it is, though. It's just all networking. You don't know when your big opportunity will come up. You don't know who it's gonna be, and that's just what it is. You just gotta fucking keep the path the right direction, and then hope
Hmm.
fucking you end up at a good destination.
Well, I see a good destination for you.
I hope, brother. I hope. I think there needs to be more bridges to
Yeah.
bring people together and OGs
Oh,
and
geez.
influencers to squash
Squash
problems.
problems. You know what? Me, I'll admit I heard about all these problems in Toronto, but me and my brother, we're not used to this. We're not in no beef because we're not from East. We're not from the West. We're from up north, the real up north. You know how Migos
Gary?
say up? You see how the Migos say we're up north, Migos? We're
Mm-hmm.
really up north. That's where I'm from, up north. So
How
I don't
far
have,
up north?
not far up north, Vaughan,
Oh, man, that's not that far. Come on.
but we're up
I thought
north.
you
But
were
I'm
like
not.
Sudbury,
The,
fucking
the
Buddy Boy.
closest place would be Jane and Finch. That's what I know growing up around Jane and Finch.
Jeez.
That's the closest place. So
Is Jane and Finch really as bad as people make it seem, or is that just
no, 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 no. That is all. If you're involved in something, right? Then most likely that something that there's a reason. You get what I mean?
yeah?
Most of the time, it has
That's
changed
what I
because
always try to explain to people. With most of these situations, it's like individual situations. It's not people on a rampage
yeah.
just looking for randoms. Hopefully,
Mm, bless up world star promos. I didn't see you. Yeah, that's what it is. Because okay, Finch, my experience, but it's better to ask someone who's really grew up there, right? It's not bad. Like the whole story, what they make up, story tales. You could go there in the day. It's like any other place. But if you're not from there, it makes sense. You're not from there. So the people who see you not from there at a certain time, you shouldn't be. You know what I mean? The
yeah,
stereotype, like any other area, they're thinking you're coming if they're involved in something. You get what I mean?
yeah,
So it's not really like that. It could be bad anywhere because I lived other places. You could be from like out in the boondocks, like, and it's
100%.
and things are going on down there and you don't hear anything up there. I experienced that. There's a lot of
Sometimes
fairy
it's just
tales out
wrong
there.
place, wrong time. Even
Because Winnipeg is bad.
yeah,
I've been hearing Vancouver's has a higher crime rate than Toronto.
Oshawa shithole.
And Oshawa
I'm
too
in
has.
Oshawa all the time. That's a fucking shithole. Shout
Okay,
out
all
Oshawa.
right.
I got
In
the
Hamil
Oshawa Generals flag behind me. Shout out Oshawa. But
Same thing with
it's a shithole.
Hammy. In Hamilton is like bad. Is worse places down in Hamilton than in To. You get what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So trust me, when they saying these names, yeah, there's a lot of things happen there, but it's between those that like people coming into it, not even people from the community. A lot of
Yeah,
times, it's not people who are from the community bringing the heat. It's people who are not from the community. Vice versa to any other community. It's not the people from the community. It's a lot of time people coming into the community,
and starting
right?
some shit.
Starting some shit. Most of the time, it's that.
Yeah,
And then if it's like outside, now it's changed because the young boys are different. If you're out at the Eaton Center or out in public, these guys don't care anymore. They think they're in a video game. They're playing like Grand Theft Auto in real life.
yeah. What's one artist from the Toronto area that you would say is like gonna make it, like on your radar? That one person that comes to mind where you're like, this person has like serious potential to be that
There's a
next
couple.
thing.
There's two guys. One, if you want to not include him because he's already there, is Pressa.
I was about to say Pressa is one I would
Pressa's
definitely.
already there, but he's
Yeah.
there. So let's not count him because he's been with Drake in a picture hugging and everything. We saw that, right?
Dropping bangers.
Yeah, he's hugging with Drake in Hollywood and shit. So
Yeah.
he's with that girl too. I forgot her name.
Coiler Ray. She's
Yeah,
annoying
he's
a
with
bit,
her.
but like.
But he
do
made
your
it. He
thing.
made
Shut up, Pressa.
it. He got
Do
the
your
bank
thing.
already. He got the
Yeah.
bank. So now let's see. Cholo Cash. You know who
Okay.
Cholo Cash is?
I
Look up
might not. I know some faces. I don't know names too well.
young guy. Check him out.
I will.
Cholo Cash, and then I would say, to be fair, on the street, like a hardcore hip hop, you want to say? Like street? The
No,
first
I
street?
just want potential to like break through. You could even fucking pick
Cholo Cash.
EDM artist for all I care.
Cholo Cash. Look up that youth, man.
Cholo Cat.
Young guy. Yep. I can't say nobody else, right?
Canada
by
ATV. I can't tell which one's Pressa and which one's Koi. Pressa's the
It's
darker
true.
one, brother.
Yeah, Press is the darker one.
Pressa's like half Filipino, half black, right? And then
Yeah.
I don't know what Toilet
But you know
Ray
the
is.
funny thing? Yo, let's talk the story. Do you know about Pressa, like his background?
I just know he's half Filipino, half black, growing up in a black neighborhood, right? Something like
Yeah.
that.
Okay, so what I get is I seen 7 months ago someone making fun of him on stage from Virginia, and they said, "Yo, this is the next big guy from Toronto, right?"
Okay.
And now 7 or 8 months now they see him at BET Awards, right? Okay, Pressa. If you don't know who Pressa is, not blowing him up or anything, but he is from the most what they call in Toronto. You know where he's from? The most what you hear, Jane and Finch.
No, is that where he's from?
He's from Jane and Finch, the capital of what
I-
the hoodest of the hoodest
I
in
thought he was
Toronto.
from the Gardner Expressway, to be honest.
No. But so you know now you know what I'm trying to say. So that's his backing. That's all I'm gonna say.
But do you think he lives in LA as a safety reason? Because Toronto's just not a safe place to be, and that's
Yep.
what the sad part is. The
He's
fact
down there.
the fact that we can't even enjoy our local artists because of the worry of what might happen.
It's true. He can't. You read my mind. He can't come back down here like he used to be. He can't come down here go up in that same spot. No. He's on a different level, man. He's like Drake. No, not as much as Drake, but he's like that. He can't have press
Gotta
come.
get
He's Hollywood now.
Yeah, he's one of those artists I did not expect to like. I'll say that much. I heard his voice mentioned. I was like, shut the fuck up.
I seen it coming.
And then after a while, all of a sudden I'm like, yo,
No,
why
me
is this
too.
fucking
Me too.
bumping me?
Yo,
That's
me
it.
too. But you know when I knew that he would be big? You know when I knew he would be big? Because I'm a OG. I have kids who are like just turned 20. When I heard them here, like 2 years before their age, I knew that he was gonna blow up. Like before they turned
Yeah,
20. They were listening to him.
I knew he was gonna blow. I knew he was gonna blow up once I heard Rand playing his tracks and like knowing the words. I was like, whoever this guy is, motherfucking made it. They got random bitches singing his tracks, doing selfie stories to it. That's when you have a good vibe of like, oh shit, this track might actually make it.
Oh,
When you actually know people around you, and like random people around me were just bumping his tracks, and it's just like, okay, this
Yeah.
guy's legit.
he's the star, man. So yo, man, I was blazing up. You said he blazed up your spliff earlier. So tell me your
Oh my
top
God.
6. Yo, before we come off this spaceship, tell me your top 6 MCs of all time.
Are we talking MCs as rappers or MCs as like master of ceremonies?
Master of ceremonies. Let's take it to
Like
the top.
someone to host a show.
No, rappers.
Okay, yeah. Because you gotta realize I'm a comedian. Sometimes MCing can be literally.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying.
I was like, fuck, Jim Jeffries is great at that. But MCs of all time. I'm gonna no particular order here,
No particular order.
based on what I listen to. Obviously Eminem. Shout out to the Caucasian community. We gotta put out
Yeah.
the at the top. Biggie Smalls, big Biggie fan. Big L, Grew
Yeah.
up big L fan. Honestly, just because he died, and my high school years, I listened to a lot of them. Mac Miller, shout
Mac
out
Miller.
Mac Miller, kind of just represented an era of life when that was the music going on at parties. And then Drake, because Drake's been the GOAT,
Four.
holding
Yeah,
that enough
that's
time,
fair.
running Drake 5, and that's just that changes day by day. That top five, that's just randomly on the top of my head. And like Mac Miller just got it on technicality. If he was alive, he would not even be in there. But fucking
Mhm.
motherfucker had to die, so I was like, fuck.
Ah,
There you go, Mac
shit.
Miller. Shout out to the dead. Sometimes you just gotta give it to them.
So what's next for you, Cringe Kev, man? It's been an honor, coming on to Down to Earth. What's next? Well, you have a website, you have a series, a blog. You doing
Yeah,
anything?
check me out at Cringe Kev. Subscribe to my YouTube, Cringe Kev. On my Instagram, I will post all my upcoming comedy shows. I try to keep it in my highlights and my stories. So once I get some announcements on some new dates, I'll be performing. I'll be posting that. My podcast, Mayo and Chicken, you can catch out on my YouTube. And I'm gonna drop a fucking comedy album, hopefully soonish. We'll see how it turns out after the mastering and all that. You know how it is.
Yeah. So, man, thanks for coming through the Down to Earth podcast, Cringe Kev.
Thanks for
It
having
was
me.
a blessing. I want you to we'll just keep in touch. And, bless up to everything that you do, man. Much
For sure.
respect.
For sure, my guy. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. Bless up.
Bless up.